All systems have been alerted to your presence, sir.
I have a very bad feeling about this.
I hope you know what you're doing.
The Emperor has been expecting you.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Sarlacc Digest Toy Chest. This is our second episode. Of course, this is the podcast where we break down and digest everything Star Wars collectibles around the galaxy. This is being recorded on March 25th, 2024. I am your host, Darth Moocher. I got Scott Solo here.
What's up, nerds?
Got Bootleg Joe.
Howdy, nerds.
I was like, oh no.
He's bringing that energy down.
And of course, from one of our favorite podcasts out there, 1313, we've got Tommy joining us with here.
Salutations, nerds.
Thank you, man. You know what? Thank you for joining us, man. I know that you're always like in communication with us about toy stuff and all that. And I'm so glad that you're here again. 1313 podcast. You guys are awesome. You are one of our favorite podcasts to go to and listen to. So I do want to give you that huge shout out. And so
you are the future.
Yes. And you know what? And there's a very good reason why we have you guys on too, because there is a generational gap too, and we both love the same thing. So a lot of times, let's see how those two generations are meshing well, right? So there's a good point of view from both ends there. So yeah, of course. Well, Chris can't make it today, and Ernie got the invite, so who knows where he's at. But anyway, guys, we're here to talk toys. I'm going to kick it over to Scott here. He's going to shout out our shout out council and everyone who's being digested in the pit before we get started and all the good action figure news. Kick it away, Scott.
All right. Hey, welcome back, everybody, for episode 2 of the Sarlacc Toy Chest. Special shout out to our Patreon crew. That is the Shadow Council. AJ from the Forbidden Panel, Brandon and Anya Epler, Brian C., Cliff, Commander Cook, Crystal E., Dennis McGrath, Don the Dad Dorn, Eric Grubb, Flavy Davy, formerly of the Nerds with Attitude podcast, Gavin Connor from the Holy Hour All Cure podcast, who actually... There was a book by The Cure, or a book about The Cure that was just released, and he and the Holy Hour were actually mentioned in this
nice.
book. So that's a really big deal.
All right.
International recognition. That's pretty awesome. Also got Justin the Vanilla Thunder, Luke, a.k.a. Junk Droid 77, Mervine Bolanos, Matt Logic, Nicholas Schaefer, Papa Schmitty, Ryan, and the Star Joe's podcast. If you want to join up with the Shadow Council, just log on patreon.com/Sarlacc Digest and give us a couple of bucks. We appreciate it. It all goes back into this.
So we'd be honored if you would join us.
Yes. Also, we are currently digesting 80s Kid from the 90s.
Hey, what's going on?
What's going on, 80s Kid?
We got Mando Mike in there.
Nice. Mando's mic isn't working, so yeah, he's here.
Yeah. Rhino Hobbies. We got Tim Hayes. Oh, this one I'm gonna. Okay, Phantom Menace Dennis.
Nice. See, now it flows, right? It's like Phantom Menace Dennis.
Phantom Menace Dennis. We've also got Palpatine 1975.
Beautiful.
Our pal Commander Cook.
Is that who's in Facebook, or who's in Facebook? The faceless user, is that Matthew Carlisle? Is that Scott Winters?
You ask me these questions. And
I know, but yes,
man.
Commander Cook is there.
That would be Matthew Carlisle. So yeah, that's
all right,
our
Matthew.
Matthew Carlisle. And I've got the screen up now, so I can so I can talk to him.
It's so bad that we have to do that, but yeah, that's right.
I know.
It should be integrated at this point.
We got Genobi in there.
Yes.
We've got Phase 2 action review. We've got Jacob 1313. Hey, Jacob, what's up?
There's
man?
Jacob. He's at a metal show. Nice. I saw Avengers Unfolded. Pretty good.
We've also got Hybrid Toy Review and Futuric 97.
Nice.
What is up,
Sweet.
Everybody? Welcome aboard.
Nice.
So if you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button. If you are, hit a thumbs up, man. What you waiting for?
Yeah, just a reminder, this is our bi-monthly show that we break down everything that's happening in the, what's that?
Bi-weekly, right? Every 2 weeks.
Yeah, bi-weekly, bi-monthly, I think they mean the same thing, whichever makes sense to you. It's every 2 weeks. But the best way to, for lack of confusion, just hit the subscribe button and notification, and you'll get those every time we drop an episode, right? So, but yeah, we're here to talk everything Star Wars collectibles, but what's in the spotlight these days is the action figures, right? So most of us here all collect the either Black Series, Vintage Collection, retro stuff, goes back, forever. And the one thing that we pay attention to the most is when Hasbro Pulse drops a live stream, and everybody in chat is waiting right down. Everybody's in there for all the positive feedback they get, right? So we're in there, and I don't know, the last one didn't disappoint in the what are we doing category, in my opinion. If you guys have not caught up on that live stream, of course. They dropped Acolyte stuff, which we'll get into. They dropped, which was surprising too, by the way, but then they also dropped their pipelines and what they're doing. And again, I don't know about consistency in reveals or what's going on. Is this because we talked about Mr. Stevie coming in, and there's going to be this new, breath of fresh air kind of stuff, and where we're doing. So are we just kind of getting all that stuff that was already being in production out before we get into some again? And there's the question: what are we waiting for? What are we waiting for these teams anyway? You guys jump in anytime, because
yeah, I mean, as far as the Mr. Stevie thing goes, I think it is going to take probably a good year and a half, honestly, because I know there was a documentary that came out on Disney Plus where they said specifically for Black Series figures, from concept to final product takes about 18 months. Because Lucasfilm has to approve stuff, and they have to go through the list of, approved characters for the year. Yeah. So I think before we really start to see the product choices change will be when about a year and a half from now. But I mean, as far as him posting on social media about the products is probably the biggest breath of fresh air I've seen.
That's refreshing.
That Haslab post.
That is something what was lacking for a long time. It was the communication stuff, right? You hear what the people are clamoring for, and then they give us all these figures, what we're doing. Everybody's and then they go, well, geez, it's not selling, so let's cancel this and cancel that. And they dropped Merrick. That was something that I heard last couple of weeks. Merrick, that was in the Ahsoka series. They basically canceled any other future orders, so whatever is out there is out there.
Yep.
They did the same with the vintage collection too. It was recently all of the orders for a refill case of the Hera wave. So that's Hera, that's Chopper, that's
Pre-Vizsla.
There was Pre-Vizsla. Yeah, all of those through Entertainment Earth were also canceled. So it's if you didn't jump quick, that might be your last chance to get those for a while. I mean, there's a possibility they might pop up in future wave refresh, but the full cases, not so much.
Yeah. Well, I do want to say this is a positive thing. 80s Kid is also saying, I'm glad they are marketing a show. 100%. That's one of the things that we've said a long time, where we, even in like the Mandalorian, right? We didn't have figures for a long time. Ahsoka was, I think, announced like very close to it. But nothing for Book of Fett, nothing for Kenobi until like later down the line, and yeah, that is riding the ship in a way. And that's a good thing. And we're going to go ahead and we will talk about the Acolyte reveals and our, what that's all about too. But yeah, so I do see that kind of a positive communication thing from Mr. Stevie. And I do agree. It's going to take a long time. Because some of these choices that when we get into, they're just like, where are these coming from? These are just stuff that they have to get out, so.
Yeah, it's also nice to see somebody who is a fan of the property actually in charge of marketing for it. Because the last guy, he wasn't. I mean, admittedly, wasn't all that knowledgeable about certain Star Wars aspects. So, having somebody who is as knowledgeable as Mr. Stevie is, that's a big breath of fresh air. And the future
way
looks
he
bright.
talks, the way that he chooses the word, not expressions of the entertainment is my favorite corporate phrase that they used to use for the Star Wars products. It's like, what does it even mean?
That guy, Tim Hayes. Yes.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah.
Felipe checking in. What's up, Felipe?
Yeah.
What's up, Felipe?
Yeah. Patty is now working for Nerf, and he can stay right there.
His smile still haunts my nightmares. I wake up in a cold sweat when I think of his smile.
I think the biggest thing was how he was so excited to bring the products to us, and everybody had that blank face staring back. And then it was like, well, look, you guys should be excited for all these things that we're doing. Everybody's like, no. And then, like, again, when nobody buys them, then they blame us for canceling this or not agreeing with this show. It's like, guys, it's frustrating. But like Futuristic is saying too, and I agree with this on Black Series, because I'm a Black Series collector and I am a patient Black Series collector at the same time. But I really love the tech that's going into this, the scanning ability, right? The real scans. These look like mini actors, basically getting on there. So improving the figures and the tech is very important. And I do agree that if that took some time to do, in the meantime, they are a business, they got to keep the lights on. So they might repackage and might do an anniversary thing. And so things might be a little, what we could see as stalemate could be a stall game to, up the game later on. I think the biggest argument was accessories to the price. If they increase the price, we're getting nothing more from it. Like no hands, like force hands would be a major thing for us for the Black Series, different head swaps, stuff like that, accessories that would justify a deluxe figure. You know what I mean? Not just because he's 3/4 inch bigger, no more weapons, stuff like that. We're fine with that. That's what I do want to see in the future, moving into the Black Series realm. If you're going to give us these figures and you're going to make them deluxe, whatever, let's get to where we have some accessories. The G.I. Joe team is doing it. I mean, they're the same company, and I don't see how you couldn't transfer that over to Star Wars.
A lot of that has to do with their licensing agreements. There's a certain licensing fee that has to, of course, go with Star Wars, and I think that helps inflate the cost. And I don't know if it's cost prohibited to add additional pieces, but I'm hoping that with Mr. Stevie on board, maybe. And again, I'm putting a lot of faith in this guy, and I'm not sure if it's well placed just yet. He seems good. He seems very knowledgeable, but I don't know how transparent he would be at coming forward, telling us about, okay, this is why we haven't done this, guys. This is, if you want to see this, it's going to cost this much more, or this is something that we cannot do because of licensing. Just be honest, a little bit of transparency. It's at the end of the day, it's all little plastic men that we've got all over the place, right? It's not life or death stuff, but we'd like to see some evolutions in this thing and some growth. And I think a little bit of a little bit of transparency just to tell us, so we're not shouting into the ether, give us this stuff that they can't give. That I think that would be a little helpful to everybody.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I know the whole comparison between like 3 3/4 figures and the 6-inch figures. I know that because most of us came from that world, that where we had that world building, like we had every figure, we had multiple of each one, and now when we see them on the 6-inch line, we're not getting like the background characters, not getting the aliens and droids and like 21B and 88. Like, come on, for at one point you got to give us those. It's just, because that's fleshing out the Star Wars world, right?
Yeah.
If they're worried about them being peg warmers or whatever, then there's smarter ways of doing things, i.e. a build-a-figure, 2 packs, Haslab, like a collection sets of, I know the vehicles lines went out the door, but there are ways. And I don't know about the whole like Disney stopping them from using force hands or accessories for like their figures. Now I was thinking
the build-a-figure is more like it.
Yeah, but they paid for those license, right? Like Hasbro should fight for those background characters, and I don't know. To me, I think like a lot of times in the Star Wars world, on not just the figures, they're scared, they're frightened of their own shadow. Sometimes, if it doesn't hit right out the gate, they back off really bad. Like for example, these Acolyte figures, which I'll show in a minute. If they don't hit out the gate, I doubt we'll get any more. I really do. Like I really, really do. There's already been backlash on the show itself, unjustified, just whatever it is. We don't read into that too much. It's if it's a good show, it's a good show. But I feel Hasbro will run away really, really fast if those figures do not hit it big.
Some of those, a couple of those figures are already dropped in price on Amazon, and I don't know if it's a reaction to the lack of orders, or if they've been given a directive to lower the price. But I know I forget the young male Jedi that they're making the figure of. He is now
what's his name? Yord Fandar.
I swear, sometimes these names are like, oh, that's just bad. But Yord is at $19.99 right now on Amazon. I mean, of course, if you are an inbox collector, Amazon is not your route to go, right? That's for openers. But still, Yord has already lowered the price. So
I saw that is an Amazon, like, has this algorithm where if another retailer posts something at a lower price, they'll do this competitive pricing thing. So Walmart accidentally listed it as the $19.99 price point. So Amazon, their algorithm put in, this product should also be at a competitive price so we can sell as. So actually Walmart's screw up in that case made Amazon drop the price on it. Yeah.
That's cool.
I get it, because it is kind of too soon, right? But I know May on Hasbro Pulse is sold out. That's the only one out of the figures, right, on the Black Series.
That's cool.
Big Bad Toyster still has them all up and everything. I mean, I like this. It's as a collector, I don't like to see them sold out because I like to take my time and buy them. But as a fan, I want things to succeed no matter what. I do want Star Wars to succeed, and I want it to be a thing. That's why I want the show to be good rather than popular, if that makes sense, right? Like I want it to be good. I want people to say, damn, that was a good show, and the product will follow. I think so. Maybe it's too early. Maybe it's like one of those people are reserving. I'm not going to buy them now because I want to see what the show does, and that's the whole thing, right? We complain about no product for a show. Now we got product or pre-orders, and now we're waiting. I want to see if the show's good. So it's like, it's a lose-lose for Hasbro. You know what I mean?
It's not a lose-lose. It's just make sure that just make sure the product is available whenever the show drops. I mean, if Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles can do it, I've said it for years, Ninja Turtles and freaking Masters of the Universe can do it, so can the biggest toy company in the world. So can Hasbro.
Yeah.
So,
Joey.
Make it so.
I know it's an older figure and everything. Did you guys hear anything about them discontinuing Darth Malak on the 6-inch?
No,
I did not.
No, I just know he's sold out everywhere. Like, I don't think you can get him. But
we went to Frankenstein's, me, Adrian, Felipe, and Phil. We were hanging out, and Adrian was looking for Darth Malak. we couldn't find him anywhere. And two different vendors said that they heard that they discontinued him. That he was one of the ones that they stopped making.
I have not heard of that. I know, like usually Yak Face or something would report on something like that. I have not. I'll check on that. I'm going to write that down to check on that. So that's
I know
interesting.
that's like a few
I was
waves
looking
ago
up
now.
Yeah.
So that might be part of it.
And it's an amazing figure too. So I don't know why they would cancel it. In an awesome game I still play. I don't care.
Yeah.
Just real fast checking in. I know we have Lack Sivrak. What's up, man? We haven't seen you in a long time. I know that's it's like this is why we do an early show so the East Coast guys can get in on this. Stacked in Carbonite is also joining us. I know there's a few more people. I know a couple more people in Facebook too is in there. So yeah, just I'll try to get to you guys' comments as best I can. Yeah,
Matthew Carlisle's back. So yeah.
Awesome. Okay. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and do this. So as we're talking Acolyte and we're talking Black Series, okay. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the slate that I've pulled, and let's go ahead and compare on what's going on here with the Black Series, and I'll tell you my kind of complaints and kind of promises. Okay. So we got the 5 figures of the Acolyte that was announced for the show. I didn't put the individual figures. I figure it's a group effort. And there you go. That's what the show is going to look like in product so far, because like the only quote unquote main bad guy is May in the front, sold out. All the other Jedis are available. They look great. It's just they look the same, you know. So
yeah,
and that's the show, right? That you can't blame that, but at least we have that. I give them bonus points for putting out something before or pre-orders, right? I don't know. I know there was a comment in the comments there that was like they might actually be here in July in hand. They might ship as the show's going on, so that would be actually a bonus, you know.
I gotta get that Carrie Ann Moss action Jedi figure. That she looks awesome. So she and May both look great. She's definitely different than the other ones as far as her detailing in the outfit, right? The other ones look like they're just like straight from the High Republic. And you have to excuse us. We don't know the names yet. All these, we haven't really broken it all down. But yeah, Carrie Ann Moss's character looks great. They all look great. They're very posable. We'll see. I guess I'm at the fence of like I want to see what the show does. So I am in that camp. Yeah. Unfortunately, I guess. They're still giving us these hologram hollow ones.
You don't like them?
No. I no, it's not that it's not that I don't like them. I don't like the gimmick ones, right? I don't like the gimmick, like the Carbonite collection, the credit collection, those things like that. And at first I think if any figure line was going to be a gimmick, it would be these, the hologram. They make sense, right? I know a lot of people are trying to put them into a canon, mainline canon, and I always but no, that's not what they're for. They're for just a display something gimmicky that's Star Warsy, right? Like the Carbonize isn't the those are different. The holiday ones, I'm all in. I got every single one of the holiday ones. But they gave us a Darth Maul and Darth Vader, and I think those are it. I think those two are going to be final. I think they canceled that gimmick line.
There is a Palpatine coming.
Oh, there is. There is. Okay.
There's a Palpatine coming.
I'll get that one.
See, Vader and Palpatine makes sense. You know,
see, you're looking at it as a canon, right? You're looking at it as a
I want to use them for appearances. It's like the others don't make much sense, really. But Han Solo made sense because if you've got a bounty on Han Solo, you'd have a bounty puck on Han Solo.
Right.
The Darth Vader, Palpatine, even Maul, if he had a cloak over him, would make sense because the end of Solo, right? So like just judging on what we see with Vader, we know they can do this. The clear, the cloak,
Oh yeah, and I will get the Vader because I insta buy anything Vader. No worries. Like no problem. And that's the whole thing. I understand what that line is doing, and so if there is a Palpatine coming, cool. They came out with like 4 right off the bat, and then they trickled in. They snuck Darth Maul and Vader in on us like during this past week. They didn't do it in the live stream. They just kind of snuck it in. And of course, Amazon or Vader's an Amazon exclusive, and Maul's a Target exclusive. And then keeping up with the exclusives, they're reintroducing us a Balin, the Balin mercenary. Is he okay? That's the thing I wanted to talk about. I don't sure. There was a comparison on photographs and whatnot, and it didn't look like they fixed the height issue. It didn't look like it, but nobody has it in hand yet to actually like give us 100%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and the only difference besides if they do fix the height in the orange saber, it would be a cloak. It's the same exact coloring. I think everything is the same as the one that they issued.
So I do think as of now, because I know the orange sabers were running change when the figure came out. Yes. I know the first couple runs had the red saber. They switched it. And then as far as this, I mean, who knows? They could have fixed it because the promo shots were obviously taken with the original figure because he's got the red blade in the promo shots.
Right. Yes. Yes.
So who knows what they'll end up deciding to do.
These could be digital renderings, right? They could just be like, until like, I think even like I said, I'm giving Yak Face a credit again. I think he did a comparison. He said, look, this is what we've got. We just don't know if they're going to fix that height issue. I have Balin and Shin. I just don't have them open because I want mine as I don't care about variations. I want proper ones. So if they were going to give us another version of it where he was taller and the orangish, more orangish shaped sabers are not completely orange, I want those versus that's why I haven't opened those yet. If that's what we're getting, then that's fine. That, you know, we could just pose them in a squatting position, then the height doesn't matter, right? So he just kind of
what I did. Yeah, that's at the end of the day. There's just some things that, you know, I can complain about it at first, but you know, once I will say I used to be really active in forums and comment sections and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was really almost like taking me out of the hobby because everybody is so negative about everything. And so once I started to, you know, reel it in a little bit, I've enjoyed the hobby
for your own enjoyment.
I have in years because of it, you know.
When I watch the live streams, I don't look at the chat. Every once in a while, I get in there. I go, I can't do it. I can't do it because it's awesome.
I mean, dude, you're a bunch of grown men yelling about Star Wars action figures, dude.
Yeah,
like I get like in this sort of a setting, like we're giving our opinions and our actual thoughts here, but. Oh man, those are just you're making a fool of yourself in those live streams, man.
They sometimes they're just way out of school there. I mean, and they're harsh and they're very harsh, but another one that was snuck in over the week was the Masters of Evil 3-pack, which you get Vader, the White Grievous, and the Thrawn, and that is an Amazon exclusive also, and that's available today. The only one that's not available.
I think that one was a weird one. I think that they had overstock of the Vader and the Grievous. And they wanted to entice people, you know, with the Thrawn.
The Thrawn and the Vader. Yeah, you know, it makes it. I've always said this too. Like, it makes sense to me to kind of revisit some of these. And I know they had this theme of like villains. Like, we're gonna concentrate on bad guys and. 3-packs like that to get in people's hands, I have zero problem with it. And they kind of they go and say, okay, here's an opportunity to buy these figures that you don't have, and also here's for the mitten box collectors, here's a mitten box new something. You know, it's they look cool. It's the red and stuff. You know, if there's a market for it, I have zero problem for it. Like I have zero problem with it. Do all the repackaging you can as long as. You know, like you're hitting all the avenues of like you have the existing collectors and the new collectors. Because I'm all about, I really am an advocate of bringing in people to the hobby, not just ignoring them and just giving me what I want. I do what I want, but I also want the hobby to survive. I understand it's a business. I want people to get excited, like you said.
Yes,
you know,
it needs to live beyond us old farts. Basically, you know, it has to carry on to the next generation. You know. You had mentioned Mooch. You had mentioned that the articulation on the Black Series figures. And I grabbed this one screenshot. It's this one right here. And Jedi Master Indara. Right. I do love the fact that they had to put a little caveat: the figure does not fly down there at the bottom. That is great. But I mean, that kind of posability is fantastic, especially considering, you know, where this line started. I'm very impressed with this. So yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Neither here nor there.
Oh no, that like I said, that's my not one, but that's like my main reason why I go Black Series, because of that. You can really like recreate those scenes. You can really just go deep with it. You know what I mean? Not taking anything away from 3 3/4. It's just that this is my second collection for me, and I figured I want to do something refreshing and something new. Same thing with Chris. He went with the Funko Pops, you know, and he buys little things here and there, but it's Funko Pops and it's brand new. We were at his house the other day, and like they look really cool. It's just you do you. And Tim Hayes in the comment section too said nobody's making a fool out of themselves. I think he was talking about in the comic section. If it's something they don't want to buy, it's something they don't want to buy. It's as simple as that. 100%.
There's the way of saying that, though.
And it's all about the tact. It's all tact. Like there are human beings on the other side of it making these figures for us to consume, you know. And yes, we want to hold their hand sometimes and like 2-1B, do this now. Shut me up. But it won't stop there. It will never stop there. Like, you know, because then after 2-1B comes out, what about the Jabba denizens? What about, you know, Cantina? I like flesh it all out. And that's where I'm crossing figures that Mr. Stevie will address that. Even if I even said it too, it might be a bad business practice, but I even said, even if he comes out and says, we're never doing these figures, stop asking. Then we have an answer, you know, then we know, but I understand.
I think the only one that almost has a hard no right now is I believe FX7. There was something in the tooling of the arms for FX7 and the way that it would be like a choking hazard for people that I guess love to put FX7s in their mouths.
I love eating my action figures when I get them, you know. So.
But that one, due to the like 27 arms that go around it and the intricate detail of the articulation in each one of the joints, that it would be cost prohibitive. And that is in the vintage collection too, because he is one of the last ones that everybody is clamoring for in the vintage collection. And there's a huge chance we are not going to get that figure.
Yeah. I think it would be cool.
Don't the boxes already have an age limit on them?
Yeah.
They do, but you know,
put stuff in their mouth.
I mean, look at Legos. Look how small they're getting. So I mean, yeah.
Don't shoot the messenger, man.
I understand. No. I understand. Yeah. So like, wait, Lack. Same thing. Where's Lack Sivrak? Where's Hammerhead was a pipeline revealed a long time ago, so we are getting Hammerhead.
He's coming.
But yeah, where are our Cantina aliens? We have, like I said, besides the Cantina band, there's only like four characters that you can put in this. And they have a half a bar that they gave us. So it just goes a long way when you start fleshing those out. I mean,
again, we don't even have Max Rebo's band. We don't even have that.
Perfect.
Right.
Perfect. You know, make it $100. I don't care. I'm buying it. But, you know, we have plenty of shows and content moving forward that you can hit all these new things and then finish off those collections, flesh them out. You know what I mean? Our displays, that's what we do it for. You know,
yep.
I think so they're kind of starting to figure it out because they're doing stuff like prequel waves with these lesser known characters. I mean, not everyone and their mom is buying Kiadi Mundi and Little Kid Anakin when they go to the store. So doing fan panel exclusive waves is cool.
Perfect.
And then also I like how they're doing made to order. So they'll have a pre-order window.
That's where I
got Palace
to go.
You know,
yes,
and that's great. That works because then the people that want it get it, but most people are not going to walk into the store and pick up, you know, the Sabine and Chopper Rebels 2-pack because they don't have the Ghost, you know, so that, or the Jabba's Palace or whatever.
Mattel's doing it, and it's a tried and true method. Give us a week window, and you just make to order and put that caveat. Look, we're never going to do this again. Yeah. And maybe not every character, but like even a 2-pack, like, you know, or like I said, a 5-pack of these figures. You know, where it's just hit them all at once. You don't have to be peg warmers. You don't have to do that stuff. But I would love to sit and hear the thought process on that kind of change, right? That's where I think the frustration becomes, where it's like we sit here year after year, and it's like there's nothing that has given us any kind of a glimmer of hope that those are being talked about, at least, you know, like on our whiteboard.
It's because we keep getting new content. You know, if the new
content
stopped or took a pause, you know, for say a year, they might be able to catch up. But you know, it's also about making money, and you know, Hasbro's got Disney wants to make as much money as they possibly can. So and that's a conundrum, right? We all want the new well, most of us want the new content because it looks awesome, but because of that new content, it takes up space that that are slotted for other figures.
Right. I'm going to highlight Fig Fury here. Welcome, Fig Fury. Darth Booch, your figure stands, Star Wars walls are amazing, my guy. I have utilized them in so many pictures. I got to order more soon. Thank you so much for that endorsement. Your IG page is awesome too. I every time you pop up, I'm liking it, man.
He's
love
the
it.
Man.
Yeah. Fig Fury right there. Let's go check him out. Thank you for that. I just had to put that on there, you know. The Laxivak. I mean, that's the whole thing. They're in the same building. Laxivak, G.I. Joe is blowing away Star Wars in the figure department for sure. They're doing so good. They had to retract, right? They even came out and said, we know we give you too many figures. All right, we're not going to do it. But, yeah, exactly. And it's like they're doing too good, but we're like, we only make so much money in a month. I don't know how, this is,
Oh, God, speaking of which, can we go ahead and talk about the vintage collection really quick?
Real fast. Yes, I just real fast. I'm going to give you guys the where is it? The if I can find it, my slide on. Maybe it's not there. Maybe you deleted it.
I didn't delete anything.
Yes. Okay. I had a pipeline reveal, and it was they had so Yakface had dug up some information about a Palpatine figure coming up, like a prequel Palpatine.
Yes,
maybe
really?
I don't know if that's the holographic one or an actual proper.
This is a Revenge of the Sith Emperor Palpatine. I'm not sure what robes they're going to end up doing. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the black ones when he fights Yoda.
Perfect.
But they're going to it's going to supposedly, allegedly, it's going to be in a Revenge of the Sith style packaging. Nice. And he's going to be packed with a single carded super battle droid in a fan channel exclusive Black Series wave later this year.
Gotcha.
That's the plan.
That's pretty cool. I'm with it. Right. That's a great army building way too. Get us a main character and like a battle droid. Get main character, super battle droid, and then now you can, let's do it. All right, Scott. Yeah, the vintage collection spotlight is yours, but yes.
So the vintage collection, move some of the graphics around on this thing. Okay, the Finn and the Count Dooku wave is now shipping, so we're going to start seeing those on pegs and getting those in your hands ASAP, right?
That's got to be a misprint, bro. Finn sold out.
yeah. We talked about that last week. It's kind of mind blowing, but yeah. It's especially since that's the second version of that particular figure. They didn't even bother putting him in a different outfit, right?
Right.
I mean, his Rise of Skywalker outfit has not been seen in 3 3/4 inch or Black Series yet.
It's the cooler one too.
Right? It is. Anyway, that's whatever. So we're okay. Let's go to Hu Yang. We've already talked about talked about all those up there to Hu Yang, right?
Yeah.
Well, in the live stream, they debuted Princess Leia from A New Hope, which is the first time since 2006 in the first wave of the vintage collection that she has been released, which was a pretty bad figure. So having the articulation, the modern articulation, that's great. That is a fantastic choice. I am very much looking forward to that one.
Yep. And I don't like soft goods, so I like that.
Right. And it comes with a removable hood and I think a plastic flat hood that will sit on her back as well.
It looks great.
So
it really does.
It looks fantastic. The R2-D2. Now, this R2-D2, it's, I think, the third release of this particular R2-D2, and I believe it's the one with when the sensor scope is up, you can turn his head, but if it's down, you can't move his head. It is not a good mold of R2-D2. They should backtrack and go back to one of the previous molds of R2. Just because his little arms pop out on his chest there, so he can open up doors and stuff, doesn't make that a good figure. So. Right. They need to back it up a little bit and go back to a previous version of R2. Darth Vader from A New Hope right there. This is the second time they've released this figure, but this time he's going to be on an A New Hope action figure card back. The previous one was on a Rogue One card back, but they've upgraded it's like the main part of his torso is from that Rogue One figure. The rest of the body parts are all from that updated Darth Vader that we got, I believe, last year.
Isn't that figure like amazing? Like as far as TVC goes?
It is incredible. That Darth Vader, especially whenever they gave us the removable helmet version of him, absolutely astounding figure. It's fantastic. And the Stormtrooper, again, it's another repack. It is the same figure that's in the multi-figure pack that came out, but you cannot go wrong with having Stormtroopers. You can put a Stormtrooper in every case wave.
No, you need, I feel you need Stormtroopers out all the time. For sure.
Yes.
All the time.
Yes. Absolutely.
Repackage them. I don't care. You need to have those available. People will eat them up. Like you cannot go wrong with that. Yeah.
And then, of course, we have the two new figures that were released. We've got May, who is the villain, and I forget the Jedi Master's name.
Jedi Master Skull.
Thank you.
See, that's why Tommy's here, because you know those guys are on point.
He knows some things. He knows some things, and he knows some stuff. So.
I am the supercomputer of the 1313 podcast.
Nice.
It comes to useless facts.
And then the troop builder set with Captain Enoch and his zombie troopers, which is amazing. I cannot wait to get my hands on that trooper pack. That is awesome. And then we had some pipeline reveals. Jetpack Trooper. We've got Grand Admiral Thrawn from Ahsoka. We've got a 4-pack of X-Wing pilots, even though those are snow speeder pilots in there. So I don't know if we're going to get X-Wing pilots or snow speeder pilots. Either way, you can't go wrong again with more X-Wing pilot, or more pilots.
Yeah.
Except for the fact that we still don't have a Carson Teva. And then
see you again.
We've got a blurg with the Mandalorian coming, and hey, just what everybody's been clamoring for, another part of a hallway.
Yeah.
So,
but you'll need 4 of them. Okay,
Yeah.
you'll need 4 of them to complete the hallway scene.
Yeah. And then we got some behind the scenes
like
shots of the new Ghosts, which is coming out. And I tell you what, I am so freaking excited about this vehicle coming out.
Oh, yeah.
You have no idea how excited
Tommy,
I
did
am
you
about
pre-order a Haslab? Did you guys do the Haslabs?
I absolutely did a Haslab, and I already have planned exactly how I'm going to display my Haslab, man. That thing was, at first it was like, because I'm much more a Black Series collector than I am TVC. I really only get the Clone Troopers when it comes to TVC, because that's what I grew up with, was Clone Wars figures. So when I backed it at first, I was like, I'll get it just to help it reach the tiers and whatnot. And then by the end of it, Ahsoka had come out, and my girlfriend and I had just rewatched Rebels. So I was like, well, it would be a shame to get rid of it. So we're gonna my dad and I this summer, we're gonna put together a glass coffee table, and I'm gonna make a diorama inside it.
There you go.
Dude, yes.
It goes in there.
Nice.
All right.
No, that's really cool. Yeah, I
need a picture of that.
I have the Razor Crest, because I was like, we're not getting Black Series vehicles, and like that's just come on. I mean, aesthetically, it's just not going to happen. Maybe smaller ones, maybe, but I told Scott this. I didn't buy the Ghost for one main reason. It's not because I didn't like it, not because it's that I'm an all or nothing person. I will tend to go off the deep end, and all of a sudden I'll be like, guess what's vintage collection I got? I got 800 figures right now that are all vintage collection. And I
don't know that feeling at all. I totally don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope with me. I have a problem. We have a problem.
Yes.
But guys, I mean, we got a tease for a Haslab. Let's get into this Haslab thing, because we got teased. So May 4th, they're going to announce the next Haslab, and it's going to be vintage collection. They had confirmed vintage collection. They did not confirm whether it was a vehicle or a play set or anything like that. So this is our time to speculate away. Yeah. And this is interesting too, right? This tweet says, Mr. Stevie says a new chapter of storytelling begins this May. And this went along with that Haslab teaser, right?
Yep.
Interesting.
Speculation time.
So
how broke are we going to get?
Well, yeah, I want to throw a couple things at you. It may help your speculation a little bit. So there's 3 things. Okay. First off, a Bad Batch Marauder with the Bad Batch figures, because in the Vintage Collection, you only have Hunter. They have not produced the Bad Batch figures. So this is maybe they were holding back to get something in there like that. Number 2, there's 2 anniversaries next year that you would actually have this in your hand. Maybe they might announce it this year, but have it in your hand for next year would be interesting. One is the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith and 10-year anniversary of Force Awakens. So, yeah, 2005 was Revenge of the Sith. And I was thinking a Mustafar playset would be great for the Revenge of the Sith. Force Awakens, I don't know. Maybe another Millennium Falcon, Force Awakens, I don't know. But it's interesting that anniversaries tend to kind of drive. Anniversary shows tend to drive the Haslabs, you know? And I was thinking about them. Okay, like if they just went, what's in the now, Bad Batch is going on, Marauder and all that stuff. But again, you wouldn't have it in your hands till maybe the end of next year, maybe even 2026. Who knows? Yeah. But anniversaries play a big part of it too. And I wanted to say, like, you know, it's like think about like a Mustafar playset with the swing, you know, I mean, how cool would that be if you had the whole balconies and they come apart and you can have I mean, we don't have something like that, cool. Right? That's right. It's different. You know, I'm always thinking like playsets too, because vehicles, you know, how many vehicles are left? You know,
that's okay. So something else Mr. Stevie said in that chain in his Instagram was that he likes to drop a lot of hints in the images he leaves behind, right? Yeah. And if you look at his images, what is like the magic eye images of the 1990s. So I look at what was written. What was written again was damn it, where did my cursor go? There it is. All right. It says a new chapter of storytelling begins this May, right? A new chapter. The main focus of the image, if we look at it, even though they're all there, the main focus of the image is A New Hope.
It is.
What is something that we have not had in Haslab, nor have we actually had in Star Wars Vintage Collection in a very long time, and that is a fully formed, full-fledged playset. We have not had, and I mean, that would be a new chapter of storytelling for Haslab would be a playset, because they've done vehicles, they've tried lightsabers, they've done giant animals, you know, they tried that, didn't work, but you know, they've done vehicles. That's what's passed, but we've not had a giant playset. So what does that leave us with? That leaves us with a cantina for A New Hope. If we just stick with A New Hope, we've got a cantina. We have got a not the Tantive 4. No, thank you. We've already got.
That's about a 20-footer. That'll be about 20.
Could be trash compactor. Watch.
I'm thinking.
Compactor, I'm calling it.
I'm thinking it could be a large-scale Death Star. We could get a large-scale Death Star playset or a larger Sandcrawler. But at the same time, Disneyland just did release about 5 years ago or so a large-scale Sandcrawler. So. There's a lot of speculation. There's a lot of options out there, but my vote personally would be Death Star.
I have some info regarding the theories and such.
Okay.
So one thing specifically with Yakface posts on Instagram, he will in the first 10 minutes or so after he posts, he will reply to people and he will drop additional hints and additional, you know, things like that. When Mr. Stevie posted that post you just showed, Yakface commented cheers, which would imply a bar or a cantina. So obviously I think for one, I think that this next Haslab will be a lower price point than another 500. I think it'll be like 350.
Thank God.
You think they did the barge and then the Razor Crest, which was a little bit cheaper. Then they jump back up to the Ghost. So if you follow the trend,
so hurt the wallet a little bit less. Yeah, alternate that way.
$350 Cantina playset.
Yeah.
But what I would hope for, you know, even though I think it's going to be Cantina, my hope would be either a Bad Batch shuttle or an actual scaled Republic gunship from the prequels, because they are running that beat this year for the prequel anniversary. The old Republic gunships are actually not to scale with 3 3/4. They're just slightly smaller. So if they made a new one and enlarged it, I would be all over that.
Yeah.
But I do think it probably will be Cantina playset.
Okay. So now that you said the cheers thing, and when people have their ears to the ground and stuff like that, and I'm going like, all right, well, it'll probably be as big, if not bigger, than the Jabba playset, and that was what, $200 at Jabba playset?
I don't remember.
250.
Got 250. So 250 is a HasLab price for something that big. Why make it instead of just bringing it out, HasLab Cantina? It's got to be like very interesting, like very like almost or with a building, the top comes off and you have the entire thing. You've got electronics. You got electronics. You got.
Dude, don't say electronics. They never do electronics.
I know, but
we
like
want them
I'm
to do
trying
electronics, but they just won't.
Yeah,
and it is interesting. And again, okay, I'm gonna write that down as like that's something, you know. Will they do a ship or a playset this time? The Death Star playset is interesting if they mimic the old Kenner old school one and have that type of playset where it was like this modern version of it, but it has not been, like I said, it'd be multiple stories, maybe add 2 or more stories, bigger stuff like that, and mimics that wedge, that little pie wedge playset they had. It would be interesting if they did that. Yeah, the graphic is interesting. What Yak Face is it's really cool, man. Yeah, I'm always at like, because like I said, I don't collect it, but I'm supported. I'm just like, make it. I hope it funds at 1,000% because I want it to continue. I really want more of these things. You know, I don't ever root against anything from other lines, Marvel, whatever it is. I want HasLab to be a thing. So I will try my best, even though I'm not financially backing. I will try my best to support it and report on it and all that stuff. So I'm excited. I'm excited for it. Yeah, whatever
personally, it is. I'm not a huge OT collector. I have a bunch of old Power of the Force figures, and I have like some other OT era displays. But that would be one that I would probably back to help it, support it, and then I'd probably just sell it near retail to.
I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, that's. I mean, that's a good thing you're doing. That's a very good thing. I never even thought about doing it that way too. It's like buying and then just selling it at cost to somebody who missed out, and just to keep that backing too.
Yeah, help a collector.
So I wonder.
Yeah.
I wonder if that is how we would end up getting like a Lax Sivrak figure, because I mean, Lax Sivrak technically is no longer part of the original trilogy since he was removed for the special editions, right?
That's Wolfman, right?
And that would be a tier. Okay. That would be a tier, right? The no longer in production or even visually. Yeah, exactly.
Well, and they did just do the 7-pack of the modal nodes.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Yes, they did. So there's something off the plate we don't have to worry about now.
Sequels in a way. I mean, you can probably, make the argument that Lax Sivrak is in the prequels, the back behind him. They kind of made a cameo, but yes, I get what, and that would be a tier. That would be like, back. That would be cool. That would be cool. I know Lax Sivrak in the chat would want it.
Yeah, you think?
I don't know why. I don't know why he would want it, but yeah.
I did want to give one more update really quick, and that is on the retro collection. Hey, got it, found it. The Target exclusive Phantom Menace 6-pack came out this weekend.
Sweet.
So if you are on the hunt for it, the DC or DPCI number 087160591. They had to pull it from the back for me, but it was there. And take the number, folks, write it down, go find your retro figures, because they are awesome. And this week I'm doing a figure a day opening up for our shorts. So subscribe to our feed, check out the shorts, and you'll get to see what these things look like out of the package.
Cool. Nice. I do want to give some shout outs in the chat there. I know you guys have been on it. We got Luna. What's it? Lunda Roland is checking in. Hey there, I'm a Hasbro toy fan. I love Furbies. You do you. You're awesome. Thank you for checking in. We also got, let's see, who else checked in? Sabersmith is checking in. Cheers, guys, in chat. And Fig Fury tells Tommy to stop scalping them Haslabs, Tommy. Jeez, retail. Yeah, right. Hey, pain and suffering of anticipation and that whole interest, right? You put the $300 out, you got to get your interest back. So
right.
All right. Well, yeah. So again, I'm sure as time goes on, of course, it gets closer to May 4th, which is around the corner, by the way. We will hear more, and I love those like little hints and Easter eggs of analyzing stuff. Again, I like the fact that if Mr. Stevie is that guy, he doesn't just post just to post. It means something. Just like you said, that Yak Face, you got to read in between the lines, especially his hashtags. And yes, if you want to interact with him, hit him early on those posts, and he will. He's very good at that. That dude is awesome. It's pretty much my go-to.
What would we do without Yak Face?
Serious
thing, like that would be. It'd be a lot harder for us to find out info on like random pre-orders going up. Like I would never know about the Holocom Vader or the Holocom Maul that just dropped.
Yeah. My thing is, like, we hear a rumor, I go right to his page. And I always like it's it's always trustworthy, trustworthy. So a big shout out
to get him on the show.
That'd be awesome. I know he does a toy show and or a podcast every once in a while. So
I do know him tangentially, so I could always ask a couple guys that I know. Black Series Cantina podcast just had him on recently, so I could always shoot them a text and see what's going on with that.
Anytime. It'd be awesome. We got Commander Cook with the super chat. Gotta go. Have a good one. Thanks, Commander Cook, man. You are buddy. Awesome. And be safe out there, man. Be safe.
Way to go,
Thanks
Cookie.
For checking in too. Yeah.
Oh man.
Jason is the Yak Goat.
Nice.
Sure is.
Yes. So again, a lot of news, a lot of judgmental stuff going on, but I think for the most part, we're in this. We're not going anywhere. Not like throwing our hands up in the air. And when I personally, or we basically, when we try to be critical, we try to be constructive with it. It's not because we think you hate us, like other shows think Hasbro hates us. This is so dumb. It's just that they have a lot to get to. We get it, and we're clamoring for those figures that we want because we want to see them on our shelves and admire them every day and live this world that we love to live in, right? So I just want to kind of bring a special collection spotlight. Speaking of like living in this world, last episode we had Matthew Carlisle tell us in chat that he has a Wicket collection. Not just, but he has he just buys Wicket, right? And we're like, we want to see it. I want to see it. So he showed it to us, and
he showed us his Wicket. Oh my gosh!
Boom! So this dude has vintage retro Wickets, and he's got 32 of them completed, and wild. A lot more. This is not. He told me this. There's a lot more going on here, and I asked him. Like, why awesome. Wicked, right? And he just basically was telling me it's a nostalgia trip for him. He didn't have a lot growing up, and Wicked was something that he did have. So when he got the opportunity to basically collect and concentrate on one figure, of course, it was Wicked, and it means it's something special to him. And I love seeing these kind of like special collections of like somebody who collects nothing but like one thing, right? And it's just so cool to see this. But if you're out there trying to find a Wicket, you know why.
Sorry.
You know why. So Matthew Carlisle, thank you for submitting that, man. I love it. I thank you for being part of the community also. You do have a great story behind this, and maybe one day we get you on and you can explore more with that. This is great. So with that, I think anybody else who has collections that they want to share or something specific or like a special figure or type of collection or just your collection in general, hit us up, man. Hit us up in our Facebook community, DM us like that. And we're going to have that rotating spotlight going on. We already have the next one set up, and it's she's in the chat. So she's going to get some love there from us, because that's all we do.
Commander Cook has a Marok collection from the Ahsoka series. He has collected every Marok product that has come out. So
how much is there?
There's 2 Funko Pops, a retro figure, a Black Series, a hot toy, and a fig pin. Like he's got like all the random things, you know.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
See,
that's his thing.
That's awesome. Especially when Ahsoka 2 comes out and he's more important, right?
Yeah, and he, you know, the fart gas comes back into the suit.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
You know,
and
he comes back.
And there's Merrick's like that monster in the Hellboy, right? It's like you kill one and two come. Up here. So every time you kill one, it multiplies. Yeah,
comes back.
So that would be awesome.
It's heartburn. So I've got a question. Did he buy all that before Merrick's untimely demise, or was all that?
No,
or was it after?
He bought it. I think he started collecting it after the show was over.
Oh, okay.
And I think he's actually to the point. I think he just got in recently a set of life-size Marok armor. He's going to submit a costume for the 501st Legion.
Oh, come on now.
So he's in the middle of painting that right now. But I don't know. It's one of those things where it's a niche character. And he's like, I'm going to be the one guy who has all the Marok stuff.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
That's great. That's great.
I was going Nien-Nunb, but now Merrick is fine. Yeah.
I'm gonna have the most boring collection. I'm just gonna get General Maydeen. It's just gonna be nothing but General Maydeen.
Nothing but General Maydeen.
Nothing but General Maydeen.
Let's go. So on that collection there, Matthew Carl, that's a lot of murder bears. Yes, man, you're welcome. You're very welcome. And again, thank you very much for being part of our community, man. You're awesome. You are awesome. So yeah, I kind of want to do a cosplay section too when it comes, because that's a whole nother brand that's in collecting, right? Not just the helmets and the Black Series helmets, but like people make costumes. And
I have one.
Which one do you have? Oh, you have yes.
Yeah. That's mine. And then Jackson actually just finished. He submitted his approval photos for ARC Trooper 5s today.
Really? Okay. So we are slacking here, man. We're just old, you know.
I got mine, but I just I've got the Boba Fett armor, but I just don't care. I don't care to be a part of the group. I just want to wear the thing and go have fun.
Yeah. Well, that's I know it's a lot different where you guys are than up here. We live in like PA. And it's a lot smaller, and everyone's really just kind of go with the flow, do whatever you want type thing. But yeah, I mean, hey, my dad is your guy's age, and he has like 2 costumes and a third one that he's working on. And he's doing he is Commander Bly in the chat, but
oh, cool.
Oh, nice. Yeah, okay, cool.
He has the Senate Commando Commander. He showed up in one episode of the Clone Wars. His name is Captain J-Fon. And he gets his neck snapped by Cad Bane. He has that, and then he is working on a Shore Trooper squad leader from Rogue One right now. So
I have the Shore Troopers, all that armor. I have all of it, like ready to 3D print. Let's put it that way. I have it ready to 3D print. I bought it from Sean Fields and his charity that when he did it, and I'm on the Mr. Paul's Facebook group and trying to build it. You know, I have every intention. I think what holds me down is this 40-inch waist. I got to get that down or I could be a retired Shore Trooper, right? I mean, like retired, just kind of like, you know.
Hey man, you can always shoot me a text. I can get you in contact with my dad. He'll get you going on the costume.
Let's go. Let's go. And in fact, I'm waiting for a celebration to come back to America. So even if it's somewhere in the middle, or even if it's the East Coast, we're there. We're all meeting up. It's given.
Are you guys going to go to ICC Con in Nashville? That's a huge convention as far as Star Wars action figures goes.
No, I've never. Not that I've never heard of it, but no, I haven't. I don't travel too much because SoCal, we have WonderCon, we have Comic-Con, we have LA Con. I mean, we have so many. I know that it's not Star Wars centric, but there's just so many.
It's one of those. Basically, the organizer of that one, he tries to basically be what Star Wars Celebration used to be before Disney bought Star Wars. And a bunch of my buddies went last year and met up, and there's so many Star Wars action figure vendors down there. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I've been to 4 celebrations myself, and only one of them was the Disney the Disney takeover. It was in the Disney
Disney era.
Yeah. And they're great, man. I absolutely love them. They're so good. I know one in Japan is starting next month, I think, right?
the sales, right? Or
yeah,
the ticket sales.
Oh yeah, because I know that's this year.
Next year.
It's next year. It's next year. Thank you.
Yeah, skip the year.
Yeah. There's so many. Like I said, there's so many anniversaries. Someone in chat just pointed out next year is the 25th anniversary of Empire Strikes Back. Also, so we have 3 anniversaries to hit up next year. It's crazy. We don't just have the 3 anymore, Scott. So yeah.
Good Lord.
All right, guys.
Old.
Well, yeah. Yeah, midsection restrictions, exactly. But all the intentions are there. But again, there's no reason I couldn't get a mannequin and put the suit on the mannequin and have it as a real live action figure, right? So there's that too. Yeah, guys. So all right, I think we covered a lot. I know that we didn't get to a lot too, but there's a lot more to be said. But again, that's why this is an ongoing series, right? So we'll be back in 2 weeks to do this all over again, see what happens, see what more information comes on. Tommy, you're more than welcome to come on with the guys if they want, if the schedule's permitting. Let's do this, man. Like, it's the toy community is growing. We want to make this a Star Wars centric toy community and not just action figures too. I was at Target the other day and I was looking at some Star Wars bath salts that I was going to take a picture and bring to the show, but we had already a full show. So I do want to say like there's other stuff, the obscure, right? That it's fun to explore. So, but with that, thank you everybody in the chat. Thank you guys for showing up. Tommy, where can we find the 1313 podcast with the other guys?
So I am just 1/3 of the 1313 podcast. I have my co-hosts Jacob and Jackson, who decided they wanted to attend an Avenged Sevenfold show tonight. They are like the 3 of us. We do our show. We do a podcast once a week, which is posted everywhere you can find podcasts. I do lots of action figure reviews on the channel. I actually did a collection tour of my collection room maybe 2 weeks ago.
I love it.
So that we do all kinds of different content. We have vlogs that we do when Jacob just went to Galaxy's Edge for the first time. And Jackson and I took a trip over the weekend to visit some friends in the Minneapolis area. So we're going to have a vlog for that. Just all kinds of stuff. And we're always posting stuff, YouTube, Instagram, X, formerly Twitter, and we're even on Cringe Talk. So
nice. Yeah. We want to get you guys on the show to talk about the generation Star Wars fans, like as you guys are in the Clone Wars era and see where your mindsets on a lot of stuff we come up with. We're in that original trilogy era and where our mindsets are. And it's great to kind of compare and contrast like the two different, we're both all the same fans, but the two different backgrounds and how we grew up as fans and everything. I know that you, like I said, your dad was a major influence on you and that bringing you into the Star Wars realm. Congratulations on that. I was the same thing with my son. My son was born 99, so it's like he's the prequel guy, so it's great to kind of have those things on. So I think having you guys on to kind of talk about that, especially when the subject comes up, to see, because you guys are the future of bringing it after we're done. You guys are there to hold the the baton. So so we got to give you guys more into the original trilogy. But with that, again, thank you everybody. Thank you, Tommy, so much for taking the time and joining us, man. It was great. Yeah. So you guys are not going to see the last of Tommy, of course. You guys are going to see us on Wednesday when we sit there and break down the latest Bad Batch episode, plus all the other stuff that's coming out. We're going to talk Acolyte. We got a lot to talk about actually, and see what else drops in our laps on Wednesdays. So with that, you can find Bootleg Joe, of course, on Instagram bootleg_760. Of course, you can find Scott Solo, the art of Scott Solo. That's Scott Kruger. He's everywhere. Just go find the 1-minute toy reviews, especially on those retro collection ones. I just saw the unboxing of the box. It was really cool. So I can't wait to get into that. And I do want to, Scott, get like you a retro video of your retro carded, or not carded, but the figures. I think that would be interesting to do. See if we could see how all those compare to all the 1970s, 80s figures and how they mesh well, right? So
yeah, rock on, man.
Yeah,
I'm in.
You could find Ernie, of course, on the Fallen Fett Chronicles every Wednesday before the Starlight Digest, and of course Chris is just here. Chris is here. I'm sure Chris will be doing a Star Wars Unlimited card game podcast because he loved it so much that the guy just spent like $800 on cards. So
I heard Ernie was celebrating 500 subscribers tonight.
Yes.
That's why he didn't make it.
Yeah.
It's still in that process.
Exactly.
He's grabbing some thumbnails.
It's 501.
501. Okay.
I'm glad. It's never going to get old. And of course, Tashi Station, again, Fig Fury, thank you so much for the compliment, man. Tashi Station Emporium for all your figures. We're talking toys right there. If you want them to get in the stand, us being in California, you know, they are at least 4.0 and lower earthquake stand. They have survived so far. That kind of stuff. I should stop saying that. Really, I should really stop.
Yeah, don't tempt fate, please.
Okay, well, when I can't, it's funny, but. But yeah, if anybody feels so inclined, the link's in the description below. 10% off your entire order. Go check out 1313 podcast. And again, until Wednesday, when we do this all over again, as far as Star Wars talk, like Star Wars stuff, we will see you in 2 weeks when we digest everything that's in the toy collecting world. If anybody else is done, if we're done,
I think that's it.
Okay. Yeah. With that, Scott,
keep it nerdy, everybody.
Peace. This is Grand Admiral Thrawn. You are listening to the Sarlacc Digest. What a fascinating play on words.